What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Heavyweight Nation News. Thought we'd bring it back. Episode 1 did really well. Thank you guys for that. And we got some big stuff going on in the world of wrestling right now. And we thought we'd come on and kind of share our opinions on it a little bit, talk a little bit about it, kind of get it out there a little bit more to you guys. So first off, again, I want to say thank you, everybody. We've got a bunch of DMs of people sending us screenshots of you guys ordering the merch. We appreciate that a ton. Thank you for supporting us as we continue to grow the sport of wrestling. So kind of like Matt, go ahead. And Matt, you could start on the first point. We got to talk about this evolving Nittany Lions lineup, man. So
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous at this point. It's
new commits and their lineup is just looking absolutely disgusting.
yeah.
I don't know if anyone in the country can beat them. They have 8 All-Americans and
Right
they
now
have potential to get more.
We'll talk a little bit about that. So first off, we got to talk a little bit about sadly we saw the departure of Seth Neville's. Obviously, Nick Neville's was a 2-time All-American for Penn State. His older brother, Seth, followed in his footsteps, a super talented, multiple-time California state champ. He won pretty much every tournament you could think of in high school. Super talented athlete. I mean, one of the best heavyweights out of California. His whole set of brothers, all 3 of them, incredible wrestlers. But that's that Penn State, man. I mean, Kirk Levitt has done an incredible job, and I have no personal insight on what those wrestle-offs were like, but I'm sure they were close. So Seth Neville decides he's going to leave. We really didn't hear about him entering the portal. That wasn't really a big thing talked about by the media, and it kind of just popped up. He decides to go to Maryland, and I think it's a great fit for him. A smaller D1 school, stays in the Big Ten, and he's able to go ahead and team up with a 1-2 punch with Jackson Smith at 197, who had an incredible year this year. So having those two to close up your dual meets, there's a possibility for 6 points there. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see him in the Maryland Red singlets. I think hopefully, this will be a good fit for him, and he'll get a lot more mat time, 100%. And I think it's only going to help his development. He's staying in the Big Ten, which is always good because I'm interested to see. We saw it. Excuse me. We saw it when Beard left. We saw that dual meet the next season between Beard and Dean, and Beard ended up getting a win there. So I'm excited to see the Maryland Penn State duel.
But
next year that'll be a little bit exciting.
Penn State's amazing. We know Penn State's amazing, but it's not for everyone. That program's not for everyone. We've seen people leave, and we've seen people have such success after they left. Soriano left, and he went to Rutgers and had so much success, got himself a national title. And, it's another one of those things where if you're not, I don't know, really, can't speak for him.
I think he had a stint on the football team there as well. I'm not sure. Looking over social media a little bit, I think he did have a stint on the Penn State football team as well. So that he kind of disappeared, to be quite frank with everybody. He kind of,
and like I said, it's not for everyone.
It's not 100%. And
so I think maybe he'll leave and have success, and it'd be interesting to see a match with him and the Penn State Kirk Levitt. So that'd be really interesting to watch. Maybe he'll grow, maybe evolve, you never know.
100%. And now we talk about the guys coming in. We talked about the guys that left, and we talk a little bit now about the guys that come in. Penn State, through all the talk and all the chit chat about how much money Iowa was going to give Nagao, and Nagao was going to kind of sell out for some cash and go to Iowa, and that's all public information. It's in the Bashermania video. You guys could go check that out. So he decides that he wants to take his talent to Penn State, and I think the best part, and you kind of see where the family aspect of Penn State comes in, is RBY is right in those comments of those posts, congratulating him. RBY is excited to have him in that room as a practice partner. I think it's going to help RBY. We know he's pretty much done with wrestling. He's going to go off and fight now. But RBY super excited to get a guy like Nagao in that to fill his spot. I mean, and that gives Penn State their 8th All-American in the lineup,
It only makes sense that he goes to Penn State. He wrote out RBY for an entire period. Not many people can say they did that. And for him to go there and fill that spot and now grow in this excellency of a program, it's going to be fun to watch him develop other styles of wrestling.
100%. And then obviously we had the high school. We had a big high school commit. We had Miss Brink. I think it's how you say his name. Miss
Brink, yeah.
Yeah, Ms. Brink. We had him commit to Penn State, a guy who in my opinion, if something goes down with Facundo, whether he takes an Olympic, I've been hearing a little bit about that, is he's going to take an Olympic red shirt. He could be that guy to start, but I think everybody's forgetting that there's a man in the portal who is a national champion at 165 pounds that could be looking to strap up the navy blue and white singlet, Shane Griffith. My personal opinion, I think he's going to go back home to Rutgers. Some people are saying Iowa. I don't think Penn State is a big possibility. I also just don't know how much more money they have.
After getting Truax and Nagao.
Yeah, landing Bernie Truax and Nagao in one season has pretty much solidified them as the national champs for next year.
Yeah. And for those of you listening that haven't looked at the lineup yet,
so we'll talk a little bit about it. So we
125
have returning Robbie Howard, who we have not seen a ton of. We have had him injured the last 2 years. We saw Hildebrandt take over as a grad transfer, another All-American grad transfer, and then we saw Steen this year, who had a rough year. I'm a big Gary Steen guy. I'm a PA guy. I'm from Pennsylvania. I've seen Gary wrestle at state tournament. I've seen him. I know the caliber of wrestler he is. I think he just needs a little bit of time. He needs to wrestle with those guys in that practice room. He needs to put on a little weight, needs to get a little bigger. I think he does those things, and he has the making of an All-American 100%. Now, I do think that taking him off the lineup this year and giving Robbie Howard the opportunity to fully get out there and wrestle, I think that's a huge thing.
Robbie Howard being a Jersey boy, I've seen him wrestle, and he is disgusting. And he is fast, he's quick, he's strong. He's a really strong 125. But he's also a little bit of a hothead. I've seen him go off.
I think we need that at Penn State, though.
That's passion. That's passion.
I think we need that at Penn State, though. And then obviously we got Nagao at 33. Nobody's really going to question who's going to be at that spot. And then going down 41. To 41, obviously
Bo Bartlett.
We got Bo Bartlett, a third place finish this year at Nationals. 49, another Jersey boy, Shane Van Ness, who had another third place finish at Nationals this year. Then 57, Levi
my
Haynes,
personal favorite.
The freshman phenom of Penn State wrestling this year, got himself a runner-up at Nationals as a 18-year-old kid. I think that might be one of the most incredible. Obviously we've seen it a ton with guys like Spencer Lee, Yanni were able to get it done their freshman year. He fell a little bit short to Austin O'Connor. I think that takes nothing away that he has the makings of a 3-time national champ, which has kind of been Penn State's repertoire. If you think about it, Nolf, Nickel, Vincenzo Joseph, Rutherford, all these guys were not 4-timers. They were 3-time national champs. So you get Haynes out there, takes a couple bumps, coming back next year stronger. 65.
Facundo, Misbrink, potentially Griffith.
Yeah, Facundo, Misbrink, Griffith. Maybe they have somebody else in that wrestling room we're thinking over. I'm not really too sure how deep.
I'd say Facundo's probably the front runner right now.
Facundo's the guy. He was around a 16 blood round guy. No shame in that. First year out on the mat. I think it's going to be a good year for him if he sticks around.
Then you go to a national champ in Srirachi.
Srirachi at 74. I mean, nobody's testing him. Nobody's going to take his spot. Nobody's near taking his spot. And I think 4-time national champ next year if he wins it. So that'll be exciting to see. And then
84.
This is the thing that people are these next two weights are swappable. You got Brooks and you got Truax. Truax, 3-time 4th place finisher, 3-time All-American. You got Aaron Brooks, who is now two-time national champ? Yeah.
I believe so.
2-time national champ. So it's we've heard Brooks is going up to 97 and Truax is going to come down to 84. I'm not too sure about that. I think Brooks has really nobody in the field at 84 that has a close match with him. I mean,
think Truax can build his build. It would better suit 97.
I agree.
He can bulk up more because Brooks is already huge.
Brooks is a big dude. Yeah.
And he's like he's not tall. Like I've seen him.
Matt personally saw him a couple weeks ago. So
he's not as tall as I thought, but he is just
he's built like a brick. Kid. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I feel 84 works well for him.
Plus, I mean,
Truax,
the guy who we love Parker here. Parker's a great friend of ours. Love Parker Keckheisen to death, but he's that guy in second place, and he's 0-10 against Brooks. He's never beaten Aaron Brooks before. 10 matches, no wins his way. Now, that's no shade at Parker Keckheisen. I think Parker's a great wrestler, but Brooks is Aaron Brooks. He is him. He's him. Yeah. So I think if I'm Parker Keckheisen, I'd be excited to see Truex go down, because I think if Truex goes down to 84, gives you definitely a different style matchup, possibility for some good stuff for Parker there. But 97, I think whoever's there, it's kind of an open weight class this year. You know, we saw Bonacorsi is done. I mean, it's kind of like at this point, it's Rocky Elam pretty much is that guy, and we'll see where that goes at nationals. And then heavyweight, obviously,
of course, Kirk
Levitt has no competition again. I'm excited to see who they bring in. I'm excited to see who Penn State brings in at heavyweight next year. I'm assuming next year will be the year that they bring in a heavyweight. I know they might have one guy they brought in this year. I'm not too sure if he's gonna stay at heavyweight. I think he might go down to 97. So
I feel like Penn State is. I feel like they don't do as much recruiting as these other schools because the recruiting talks for itself.
Yeah,
it talks for itself.
This year was a big year for Penn State. I think Penn State got 6 out of the top 10 guys off the big board.
Because Penn State speaks for itself, and they've had that long history of being so dominant.
As we saw it last year with Ohio State, when Ohio State gets to 1, 2, and 3. This year, Ohio State really didn't need to recruit. I mean, everybody that they lost, they had spots to fill in with these guys that they brought in last year. So Penn State had their year, pick of the litter. Like I said, they got 6 out of the top 10 guys in the country. So that'll be exciting to see those guys maybe get some mat time and some smaller duels. You know, they could get four dual meet matches before their red shirt needs to get pulled. So that'll be exciting. And I mean, the lineup is dominant. I mean, personally, if you add Shane Griffith to that, making it 9 All-Americans, I don't think that there's a chance in hell that a dual meet comes close. I think if they get Griffith making 9 All-Americans, they will break the scoring record for nationals, which they were close. I think they were, a point and a half off this year or close to that within 5 points. I know
which is just insane.
Within 5 points. So you add Griffith there at 65, who's obviously, this year 65 was loaded. He lost in the quarterfinals. So an off year for him, can't do more than 4 years at Stanford, and he really did honestly all that he could for Stanford as a program. So
save the program for sure.
Excited to see where he's at. Excited. I think he's a guy that fits well, in my opinion, with the Penn State mentality. He has a love for the sport and a love for wrestling in general, and I think he's a great guy to get there. I do
think he's going to go home, though.
I agree. I like I said in the beginning, I think he's a Rutgers guy through and through. So, I mean, that'll be a great guy to get at Rutgers. I mean, he's a guy that could win a national title for that program and etch himself in there with Siriano and
Ashnault.
Ashnault. It'll be awesome. So, other news, we got to talk about him a little bit. We saw the hype build this over the course of this week about Rulon Gardner, the man who beat the Russian, Olympic gold medalist in Greco. He told everybody in the world he's decided to wrestle at the Open, registered. And obviously a lot of people have seen Rulon over the last couple of years. He got pretty big. Rulon got up to about, I think, 420 pounds, 520 pounds, 530 pounds. And he kind of lost track of himself a little bit. And it turned out that he decided after yesterday, he was about 15 pounds over. He had plenty of time to make the cut, but his body couldn't take it. I mean, the guy's 51 years old. But it is incredible to think 130 kilograms is about 295 pounds ish. So that puts him right at about 315. So you do that math in your head. The man has lost about 215 pounds just to be able to wrestle at the US Open. So I don't want to see anybody out there calling this a media stunt, calling this him trying to become relevant again. I mean, the man doesn't need to become relevant. He has a shoe named after him. He won an Olympic gold medalist. He beat the Russian at a time where the United States and Russia were going at it. I mean, he did all you can for the sport, and he still, whether he was 500 pounds, 300 pounds, in his prime winning the Olympics, he has done so much for the sport. I know he still does camps and clinics to this day. And I think you can't take anything away from him. And he released his statement. I will kind of talk about that a little bit here. So Rulon, took to social media and said, I pushed my body as hard as I could and tried to make the final cut to make weight last night. Unfortunately, my body had other plans. I got to within 15 pounds with plenty of time to continue cutting when my body began to shut down. After consulting with my medical team and coaches, we decided it was time to stop my cut for my health. This by no means says that I'm done and out. I have committed more than ever to reach my goal of Olympics 2024. I've lost over 200 pounds the healthy way and am committed to continue wrestling. Stay tuned as my comeback to Greco-Roman is far from over. And I think,
So
right
we'll see
there,
him again. We'll
yeah,
see him
he
on the
says
mat
2024.
as a
He's eyeing
52-year-old dude.
as a 52-year-old dude next year. I'm excited to see what he looks like. I mean, there's pictures you can see on our social media of him, after the weight loss so far. He looks mean, man. I can't lie. Like, he looks big. He looks like he's ready to go. So, I mean, I love it. I think him doing this and him making a strive, and it's not just a strive to wrestle. It really, I think, honestly, for him more was a strive to get his health back in check. And the only way he knew how to do that was wrestling. And because that's all the guy really has known. It was dairy farm work and wrestling that was his life. So I actually ordered recently one of his I got milk with him with the buckets of milk. I just bought the poster actually.
A good one.
I found a guy on eBay who was selling one. So I ended up picking it up to decorate in the background of the podcast. So you'll be seeing that up in a little bit. But
and just I don't want anyone giving him slack because he tried his best and he's right there. And at 51, your body is completely different. It can't do what it used to. And we will see him back. But transitioning to the US Open as a whole, it is stacked. The seeding and everything.
Yeah, so we'll talk.
I'll run through the top seeds right now. At 57 kilograms, Zane Richards. At 61 kilograms, it's Seth Gross. 65 kilograms, Joey McKenna. 70 kilograms, Alec Pontello. 74 kilograms, Jason Nolf. 79 kilograms, Chance Marsteller. 86 kilograms, Zaid Valencia. 92 kilograms, Colin Moore. 97, Jaden Cox. And, of course, 125, Gable Stevenson.
So here's the thing with that, though. Those are the one seeds for the Open. Those are not even counting the guys that are waiting at Final X. That's where you see your Rutherford, your Dake, your Burrows, your Snyder. Everybody pretty much but 125 has a representative. I think Jaden Cox stepping down from 92 kilograms. I think it's going to be awesome to see him take a shot at Snyder. I think him doing that is going to be interesting. And I'm excited to see who gets it at 92. I think it's going to be between pretty much Nate Jackson and Colin Moore. Those are pretty much the two guys that have kind of pushed themselves out of reach from the rest of the bracket. So 82 is exciting to see. We're going to get a new representative for the United States at 92. And then I'm excited, man. I can't wait for Final X. Final X is going to be awesome.
And if you just read through some of these, like, they have like the top 8 on here, but just 57 kilograms, Spencer Lee, Soriano, Pat Glory, like that's insane right there.
Vito Ruggiero.
61, Seth Gross, Vito, Nato, DeSanto, Nashawn Garrett. Like, these are huge names all in one bracket. Like Nick Lee, McKenna, Ridge Lovett, Lugo, like Bo Bartlett's in there, Pletcher's in there, Ashnault's in there.
All-Americans. Think about how many All-Americans are in each bracket.
Yeah, Berger, Hidley, Sasso, Scott. Dude, like, just the names, like, I can't even believe they're all wrestling each other. Like, it's going to be a bloodbath.
The best. It is. It's the best.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
And honestly, 97 kg.
O'Toole, Vincenzo Joseph. Like, what?
97 kg's got a hungry junior world champion in that bracket, too, that everybody's got to think about. Ben Keeter pulls the 5th seed. And I think Ben Keeter is that guy you kind of got to watch for. Just won a junior gold world medal. He could have took the easy way out. He could have went to U20s, made the world team, and went for another world title. But he told us there's nothing left to do at U20s. He said, I'm going for seniors. So at 18 years old, Ben Keeter's going to go out there and take on Jaden Cox at 97. And that's not even counting. Who else is in the bracket at 97?
Jaden Cox, Dudley, Morgan Smiths, Samuel Mitchell, and Ben Keeter.
Yeah. Which are all Americans. All of those guys are all Americans above him. So I'm excited for heavyweight. There was a little bit of a talk about
Hendrickson, Mason Perez, Gable, Budowski, Bradley. Like, it's crazy. Jordan Wood, Zach Elam. Like I can't even fathom what these matches are gonna look like.
Yeah, there's gonna be some crazy, crazy matchups, I
And I think
think.
there's gonna be a lot of surprise because folk style is not freestyle.
No,
People have to
100%.
remember that.
100%. That's something that everybody's got to think about.
It is completely different.
Some guys were able to kind of go crazy a little bit in
Mhm.
in freestyle. I think I'm excited to see Vito. I think Vito has told us during his podcast he thinks he is a better freestyle wrestler than folk style. So seeing him go at it, I mean, after we saw what he did at Nationals, seeing him go ahead and send a
Yeah,
freestyle, I think it's gonna be exciting.
that's
DeSanto, I'm excited to see DeSanto too. I mean,
yep.
you never know what to expect when you see Austin DeSanto out there. So he's always going to be somebody you got to look out. And Spencer. Excited to see Spencer
Hmm.
Lee's come back after what happened at Nationals. It's going to be exciting to see how he's kind of taken some time off and been able to get back after it. And obviously, we might get some rematches from NCAA's the heavyweight guys. We got Hendrickson in there, Elam, Harris, and Gable. So those are all matches that, Hendrickson had a good match with Gable. Um, Mason Paris had a good match with Gable. I mean, Elam had some good matches with Hendrickson and Paris. So Don Bradley, we could see Zach Elam wrestle his coach. That would be a
That'd be
crazy matchup
crazy.
too to see. Don Bradley gets in there. I mean, I think that at this point the man is pretty much he's been on countless world teams and stuff, and he's also just a really good dude. So we're rooting
Just
for
there to
Don
have fun.
Bradley. 100%. He's there to keep himself young. It's what he loves. Why not? I
Yeah,
think we need to see a
absolutely. I
lot more of
agree.
that. If you're physically capable and you're, at that level where you've been on the world team before, why not? What's the worst thing that happens? You lose. He's got a coaching job, a family back home. Like it doesn't matter if he makes a world team or not. Like at the end of the day, like he's still gonna go home and have a full-time job and have his wife and his kids and be able to still coach the sport of wrestling. So I would love to see. I want to see
Definitely.
Kale get back on the mat. Kale, Varner, some of those Penn State guys strap it
I
up.
want to see that so bad.
I want to see Varner get back out there. I think it would be
Let,
exciting to see.
let's see if we can convince them.
Yeah, let's call Varner and ask him if he wants to put the straps back up and talk a little bit. Reese Humphreys was just talking about how
Mhm.
if Brucky wrestles very well at his part of the Open, he's gonna go and wrestle beach wrestling nationals. So
Mhm.
that'll be exciting to see Reese back on the mat. Hopefully Brucky performs pretty well. But I mean, we're excited for the future, man. Exciting sport of wrestling. We're gonna be doing a
Yeah.
ton of coverage for the US Open. I know
Yep.
we have a ton of stuff coming up. We got a ton of events. Obviously we'll be working our tails off this weekend covering the Open as it goes on. So I'll be seeing a ton of posts on Instagram. So be prepared for that. If you guys are at work, in the office, out with your wife's parents, out at dinner with the in-laws,
Post notifications on.
yeah, throw some post notifications on. Keep the phone at your thigh. Take a quick look. You can see all the results. We'll be posting the results by round. So we'll be
Results,
there for
clips,
your coverage,
highlights. We
man.
got it
Yeah,
all.
highlights, clips. You guys saw it Nationals. I know the fans loved it. I know we did a great job of that. So we're gonna plan on doing an even better job. And we'll be making videos too. If any crazy
Yep.
stuff happens, you'll be seeing some YouTube videos come out of that too. So be excited. We're here. We're ready to start covering the Open, and we're excited for the US Open. Excited for Final X and excited for the Olympics next year, man. And
And
we
that's some
heard
heavyweight nation news, baby.
Heavyweight Nation News, another episode. And be ready because we will be at Penn State for the 2024 Olympic trials. Me and all the boys at Heavyweight Nation, we will be down at Penn State. We will be there to watch the Olympic trials. So you will see some in-person wrestling content coming out from us. We got some stuff working on for the summer too. So
Yes,
stay
sir.
entertained, stay ready, keep doing great on the videos, man. We thank you guys. You've been able, we've been able over the last month or so. Me and Matt have been grinding, being able to put together these videos and kind of build a community. And we thank you guys for watching and appreciating what we do. So it's been another episode of Heavyweight Nation News. See you guys later.